What's up, everybody? The world is a better place because you are here to join us. My name is Matt Brown, and I'm the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. It is Friday, August 23rd, 2024. One more full week of the summer next week. Then it's Labor Day on Monday. So let's talk about what's trending as we are about to get into a bittersweet time for sure. Ryan, Allison, Jose are here. What's up, my friends?
How's it going, Matt? How's it going, everybody?
Hello.
Hey guys.
Oh man, good to see you, everybody. Hope everybody had a good week just like me. And we're going to continue to talk about what's been going on in this crazy world of ours. And before we do that, just want to remind you and thank the great people of Magic Mind for being our presenting sponsor today. Get your shot of Magic Mind. I promise you it'll help you enhance your life and lifestyle. No ifs, ands, or but about it. You take your shot of Magic Mind before your day begins. With its nootropics, it'll help enhance mental clarity, give you a great natural buzz for your day, and it'll also just keep you focused and get you ready for what's about to take place. So we're about to go into the fall, my favorite time of the year. So why not get your first subscription of Magic Mind to enhance your fall activities? And you could go to magicmind.com/PCMB20 and get a discount code and use it. Sorry, you can go to magicmind.com/PCMB and use discount code PCMB20. And with that, you could get either 48% off your first subscription to Magic Mind or 20% off a one-time purchase. Again, that's magicmind.com/PCMB. And then use the discount code PCMB20 for your discounts. 48% off your first subscription, 20% off your first one-time purchase. On the top of that, you could also check out the description below on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. Thank you, Magic Mind, for sponsoring us today and every day. All right, Ryan, Jose, Allison, as I mentioned, we are about to hit the second to last weekend of your summer. How's everybody feeling before we hit into the mark?
I'm feeling good. I love fall, but I really like this kind of middle ground right before fall. So it's still summer, but fall's around the corner. This is around my favorite time of year, around Labor Day through like Thanksgiving. That's like
Yeah.
peak Ryan time. And so I for one am ready. I'm excited. We're entering my peak season, which is great. I love this time of year.
It's my birthday next week. Turning
Oh, happy
28.
birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Amazing.
This is
It
the
is
best time of the year because it's playoff season for cuffing season. So
playoff
I
cuffing
look forward to
season.
that.
There's playoffs for that?
Yes.
I didn't realize that. All right.
Building the roster, Ryan.
You
I
build
was
a rock.
undefeated.
Do
Cuffing
you not
season.
understand this how the cuffing season works?
I believe we'll test it before we get into our first segment. I believe
Okay.
cuffing is after you've had your summer with multiple partners, you select one, almost like because you're about to hibernate and you go through the winter together. Is that correct?
I'll break it down. So if you think of it like football, right? In the
Sure.
winter time, it's preseason, right? Like everybody starts going to the gym. They're trying to get their
Mm-hmm.
body ready for
Trying to
the
get
summer.
trained. Yep.
And then summer is the regular season, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to build your numbers up and whatever. Now when that summer's over, now you should have about 4 or 5 or 6 on your roster. And now you're
Sure.
gonna try to dwindle that down to maybe 1 or 2 by Thanksgiving. So you got that one you're spending the holidays with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when the Super Bowl is Valentine's Day,
Yep.
and then you dump it right after and you start the season over again.
Right. So I was actually always undefeated at the Super Bowl. So there you go. For the last 10 years.
So
Good
Ryan,
work.
I think going back to the last segment, you're gonna win this bet if it goes how
We'll see.
I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know. Sounding like it.
We'll
Well,
see what happens.
It's definitely a magic time of the year for that, for love and relationships. And amongst that too, it is an election season. And today was the very first election sign I saw in my neighborhood where you can figure out where I'm at. I saw the first election sign, happened to be a Trump one, and that is actually a good transition of Trump going viral. Again, not a political talk No, we're not talking about the conventions, not talking about any policies or that. We're going to talk about one of our best podcasters in the world, Theo Vaughn, also a great stand-up comedian. He had the 45th president of the United States at this moment. Around 6 million people watched it on YouTube this week. And I will say, whether you like Theo Vaughn, whether you like Trump, I do think it was an interesting interview because it was different. And, I'll play two very quick clips of this, but it's funny. I'm sure everyone's heard of the Richard Nixon, former president of the United States.
Yeah.
His first big interview post his presidency was with David Frost, the established British journalist. And now we have, rewind 45 plus years later. And now you have a stand-up comedian interviewing a president. And they talk about things like this, such as cocaine use. That's what was discussed. Like
Yeah,
right
that was
here,
an interesting one.
Theo Vaughn talking about being high on cocaine with the former president.
They're like, okay, well, I had a drink, then I can do this.
Is cocaine a stronger
Oh, yeah.
up?
Yeah. Cocaine
So,
will make
you're way up with cocaine more than anything else you can think of.
cocaine will turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll be out on your own porch, and you'll be your own street lamp. You're freaking,
And is that a good feeling? Well,
No,
it's
horrible.
a miserable feeling.
but you do it
As you-
anyway, just like the guy you're saying with the scotch. Like you knew it was bad, but you still.
So it's not even good during what would be normally the good time. In other words, oh wow.
They're like, okay, well, I had a drink.
And then also on this, and I am not presenting this as my own endorsement or political statement. This was just something very funny. When Donald Trump talked about how he had one of the best economies ever, this is what Theo Vaughn responded with.
Time we had the greatest economy in history when I was president. We had
Oh yeah, my cousin
best
got a
job
boat.
numbers. Yeah, we had the best job
Man.
numbers.
Oh yeah, my cousin got a boat. And that's what it was. A lot of the interview was actually a very personal interview. I heard the whole 54 minutes from family life and UFC talk and buying boats. Clearly not a lot of political stuff. I thought it was interesting on that level. But as we are about to head into the election season with Kamala Harris, by time this airs, will accept the Democratic nomination for president. We roll with these viral stories and we will do our best to try to get a perspective without, talking about the politics of it. Just talk about the silly stuff, like a stand-up comedian talking cocaine with a former president. That's where this is interesting and stuff. And this evolution of media, if you will. People aren't going to the PBSs anymore. It seems these candidates, they're not going to even though disgraced Charlie Rose or big 60 Minutes interviews and stuff like that. They're going to these people with big platforms, no matter where they come from, or streamers and stuff. I think the point of this video, not only with the funny quotes in it, but it's also truly a representation of our times today, that this is where presidential candidates are going. To the podcasts, to the streamers. Interesting, am I right?
Yeah, 3 points. I'll make them fast. The first is to that point, that very last point you said about people. So, I've been following the Democratic National Convention. Anyone who's been listening to us for a long time, we've been doing this, by the way, for a long time. 400 episodes coming up soon. Knows where I stand, so I don't have to repeat it. But I've been following along with it, and I actually just found out that 250 of the credentialed quote unquote press at the DNC convention this year were content creators and streamers on Twitch, on TikTok, on Instagram. So you're right, Matt. Like, and I mean, it's not just Trump. Obviously, Trump and Theo Vaughn and the Trump and the Impulsive podcast. Those are two very big ones. And it helps that a lot of these, particularly manosphere adjacent podcasters, are Trump fans. Like, let's just be honest. And so that's
Right.
why they book him, because they personally like him. But even the non-Trump candidates are leaning into content creation on the large and the small level, both through their own personal accounts, but also by having 250 of the 1,500 press that they had at the event are not with CNN, ABC, NBC.
they're TikTokers, they're Twitch streamers and things like that. So yeah, it's definitely a big time for like the podcasters and the streaming. So that was number one. Number two, the cocaine thing was super interesting to me because Trump has always said
Like an
that
I'm an owl. Makes
yeah,
you an
well, yeah,
owl.
Theo Vaughn is funny, but Trump has always maintained that he's, despite being the New York playboy, that he's never done drugs and he's never drank alcohol. That's always been a thing that he says. And I don't know, hearing him talk about cocaine, I believe him more now than I think I even previously did. He seemed genuinely curious about cocaine. And that was kind of fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just, I mean, I know the guy's whatever, but it was very interesting how interested he was in Theo Vaughn's experience. Um, but the last thing that I wanted to say was you made the David Frost comparison, and no,
Yes,
I
yes.
mean,
No, I laugh
I've
because
seen
it is because it's literally apples and oranges.
well, but not really. David Frost was not seen as a serious
True.
newsman,
I
and
if you've
the
seen the
Nixon.
movie, he thought he was serious, but yes, I agree.
Yes,
No one else
but
did.
Frost Nixon, by the way, great movie. It's one of my favorite movies ever, actually.
Yes.
But also the real life, David Frost was not seen as a serious guy, necessarily, but ended up, having these serious conversations. Theo Vaughn and Logan Paul have not done that. They opted to be not particularly serious. And this was just a former president, Obama or Bush, and we were like, oh yeah, that's kind of fun. The former president is talking about cocaine with Theo Vaughn. The guy is running to be the president. I feel like the conversation maybe should have been a little bit less about some of the things it was about and a little bit more about some substance beyond Theo Vaughn's cousin buying a boat. That's my personal thing is if he wasn't running for president, then I'd be like 10 out of 10 interview because it was interesting and very introspective in as far as Trump is able to do that. But dude's trying to be president. I feel like we should have heard a little bit more about that. You know what I mean? Like
I
that
guess
should have been the
like
afterthought in the interview. You know what
maybe
I
it
mean?
was because look at the demographic of that fan base. Maybe they really don't, for lack of a better word, care about that stuff, which is important to establish
True.
in trying to get your vote. But I think, yeah,
Yes, a lot
I've
of
talked
Theo
about the
Vaughn
dumbing down
fans.
before, and this is what they're doing just to get votes.
Well, in the Theo Vaughn fan base, it's probably a pretty overwhelming majority of MAGA people. Like I have to assume, like the voters are probably the same. So you're right. Maybe it was a safe space, so to speak, for him to just kind of talk about whatever because the people listening are kind of already sold. But yeah, very interesting. He was very interested in cocaine.
Oh, funny stuff, right? Allison and Jose, any words on this? Were you
You just
impressed,
seem
love?
genuinely confused.
Yeah, oh,
Like,
yeah, no, for
oh,
sure.
it's an like, how up are you? Like, like what is going on?
Like an owl.
Yeah, sitting on your porch.
Wonder what kind of coke it is to be feeling like an owl.
The Doc
That's not
Gooden
something I
stuff.
usually.
Wait, are there different types of Coke?
I
Am I like
mean,
oblivious?
I might have dabbled, maybe not, but I don't remember ever feeling like I was on fucking like a fucking owl. I'll tell you that.
Mhm.
I think that was Theo Vaughn understanding that the person he was in the room with was both A, oblivious to this, and B, a former president. And so he took that opportunity to say some of the most outlandish things to get Donald Trump to be like, interesting.
Mhm.
And it was funny. That's why it was so funny, is because who he was talking to. I don't know that it necessarily was even true. He's just like, I have to make this
Right.
sound crazy because I'm talking to a former president, and that's what's going to make it funny.
I actually think
So
that's just him. I've really listened to this guy for
you
a
do? You think
decade.
that he really is that?
It's really just Theo being himself. Like
Well, yeah, he's a comedian.
you should have seen, like he's from like hardcore Louisiana,
Yeah, or
living
where
in the
is he from?
bio.
Yeah.
His dad was like 77 when he had him, so he already had a weird childhood from the start. And I don't know if you heard at one point in this interview, he's going like, "Yeah, man, we were doing a lot of drugs, and before you knew it, we were go-karting and racing with some hookers." So that's just Theo,
Yeah,
really.
he's definitely an interesting breed.
I love
From
Theo
yeah.
Vaughn. I really gotta see him live one of these days. and hopefully you'll come on this show. You, the man, Theo Vaughn. All right, let's go from one podcaster to another, and one that definitely secured the bag. We have the host of Call Her Daddy, Alex Cooper, making some noise in the industry. Here from Variety, Alex Cooper, host of the popular show Call Her Daddy, reached a multi-year agreement with SiriusXM that encompasses exclusive programming from her company, expected to begin rolling out in 2025. The deal between Cooper and Sirius is worth as much as $125 million over the course of the deal, which runs a little more than 3 years. A source familiar with the pact told Variety. Another source, however, said the deal is valued at $100 million, and both Sirius and Cooper declined to comment. All right. Call Her Daddy. Alex Cooper, no doubt, has made her mark in the podcasting industry, and now transition after already gaining a $60 million deal with Spotify, which was also massive at the time, all on her own. Now she's doubling that and could be for only 3 years. Pretty good stuff. This is definitely a win for our industry. Good stuff for Alex Cooper. The only thing, and I'm not trying to be a hater here, trust me, I have nothing but respect for this lady, a lot of respect. Again, she helped legitimize platforms such as ours and the many that are on its way up. But I was just curious, where did they actually come up with that number? We can really truly have the right to say we are on top of everything going viral. I think that's fair to say, Ryan.
Yeah,
For
I
at
think
least
so.
the past 2.5 years, the most of this 4-year existence. I don't think we've ever found a huge viral clip for Alex Cooper, but because we definitely would have come across it. But I don't know. I've dabbled in a couple of her episodes, but I'm not a listener. I do like some of her celebrity interview stories. I know obviously we're not the demographic. More, I think it's fair to say it's more for women. But I'm just curious where they came up with that number, and that's Joe Rogan money right there. But for Sirius as well, and I mean I am a disciple of Sirius, a former intern, and love my time there. And I learned everything I needed to for the show working at Sirius. But they are satellite radio. They also have a specific demo. Not everybody's tuning to Howard Stern anymore, and he's definitely on towards the end than the beginning. So they do have to figure out who their next big personality is to attract it. I know Conan O'Brien signed a big deal, but Kevin Hart is a serious person. But it's an interesting move by Sirius for a lot of reasons, like the ones I just mentioned. But I should ask our female perspective, Allison, are you a Call Her Daddy fan and
I am
listener?
not actually.
No problem. Okay, but
I've
I'm sure you're
listened, like
aware.
I've listened to it. Um, but I just like don't, maybe it was just too early on, but I like wasn't super into it.
Okay, no problem there.
But I see her new like stuff, and like like you said, her celebrity interviews are like pretty pristine. She just did a recent interview with he, I don't know the actor's name, but he plays Nate Archibald in Gossip Girl. You guys don't know
Nate
No.
Gossip
Archibald. The only person I know from Gossip Girl is Penn Badgley, who may or may not play him. I've never seen Gossip Girl. I just know he was in it and he's
like
famous.
blonde hair, blue eyes. I really
Nope,
don't know
not
his
him.
name.
Penn
But yeah,
Badgley's the guy from You.
oh, okay. So
Somebody
different.
said I looked like him the other day with my long hair.
I don't
I
think
had
so.
a, I had, I had a
Well, that's a
couple.
compliment or not.
I know I've seen the show. He's a bad person, bad character. But anyways, that's not the point. But where do you see Ryan? Why do you think she got so much money?
I don't know. I mean, we talk about like this is weird because usually we talk about like a viral thing, and this is like the opposite. She's getting paid without ever really, in our at least from what we've seen, gone super viral. Obviously, she's got a lot of fans because she was able to get all these deals. But I guess if I had to guess why, it's because there won't be another Howard Stern. Like you mentioned, Howard's on the way out, and that makes that's true. And I think you're like, who's gonna
And his
replace
show's not
him?
the same. It hasn't been the same since the pandemic, anyways.
Right,
That's
but
just
like
me being a
I
fan.
think I think a lot of people are like, oh, who's gonna replace him? And I think the answer is nobody. it's going to be segmented. It's going to be more niche. There's going to be different reasons that different people listen to Sirius. And so you've got Conan's and Kevin Hart's, and I think that Alex Cooper is going to be a part of that strategy. In terms of the price tag, honestly, it's probably because they needed to compete with Spotify.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they want her, they want to bring her people, her demographic, which is, younger women, onto their site or onto their service, and they couldn't let Spotify outbid them, so they went high. That's my guess. Like, truthfully, is they have a broader strategy of building a coalition of personalities to try and hit different segments and different audiences, and they were worried that they didn't have a better option for that cohort and that Spotify would match them. And so by offering a pretty big number, they kept Spotify out of the equation, and they got to go forward with their first choice to try and build this coalition of listeners. That's my guess.
All right. Well, we'll go with that. Either way, good for her.
Can I
Definitely
ask a
happy for
question?
you. What?
Yeah.
Isn't Spotify getting out of the podcast exclusivity game? Look at
Yeah.
Joe Rogan. He's not.
Exclusivity game. Yes,
Yeah.
they have no choice but to
Well,
distribute to
there
the
you
other
go.
networks.
That's why Sirius made the deal. And then you
Yeah,
think
her
about it, where's
podcast will
Sirius?
not be Sirius exclusive. They just
Right,
have
and then
the licensing.
that demographic, who else is just like you're on Sirius?
No, she's definitely different than what Sirius has.
That's the reason why you're giving that money.
Well, I think that they just wanted to make sure that. So yes, she could still be on Spotify and like Apple and stuff. They're not Sirius is not exclusive, but Sirius is not Spotify or Apple. If they don't pay for it, they don't get it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if Spotify or Apple or whoever was willing to pay her the same money, it doesn't change anything for her. So Sirius has to go high because they need access to the licensing. They need access to the show, which they wouldn't get otherwise. So I do think it's still partly to keep competition out, because if she could use that to raise her price elsewhere. But yeah, the exclusivity of Spotify is gone. No one's going to get any exclusive podcasting anymore, I don't think.
Ever again? Nope, that failed.
It just doesn't work. People don't want to do that. So
facts. Well, there you go. Okay, moving on. Let's now talk about what happened this week. A breakup was announced. And well, I'll leave it at this. Let me get the exact article here. So here we go. Pop bass. Jennifer Lopez filed for divorce from Ben Affleck today. And by the way, this was on Tuesday, August 20th, on the second anniversary of their wedding ceremony in Georgia. She listed their date of separation on April 26th. You know, there's very rare cases of this. Jose, you could chime in, or Allison or Ryan. But no matter who you are, no matter how much money you have, no matter your status or class in life, don't go back to your ex. Is that the lesson we have learned here? Here's an ultimate example here with Bennifer.
Bennifer was doomed from the start.
I don't believe that, but it's just Jennifer Lopez.
What do you think, Allison? We've talked about J-Lo a few times on the show, so I'm kind of curious your J-Lo take.
I mean, didn't they already have issues after their first marriage?
Yes.
Public issues that were just like.
This is also her fourth divorce.
Yeah.
Total.
Oh, it's her fourth.
Overall, and they're not all from Ben Affleck, but multiple of them
one.
From multiple of them at this point are now from Ben Affleck.
No, it's only one.
It'd be two.
This is her second divorce from Affleck.
It would be her
They
second
never got
from
married the
him
first time.
because they got divorced, then they got
He only got
remarried.
married one time to Jennifer Gardner.
Hold up, I have the official.
Ben Affleck got married one other time. Jennifer Lopez has 4 divorces.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
Yes.
It's not. Yes, you're right. Mark Anthony, Chris Judd or whatever is Judd, his first marriage, and this is his fourth. She's
Her
Puerto
fourth.
Rican. I know this shit. So when I tell you they've never been married, I'm telling you they never been married. This is their first one.
Yes, that's true. They never got
All
married.
right.
I'm reading here, but they didn't get married in their early 2000s.
In their first stint.
They were
First
engaged.
bachelor.
They were engaged, and they got called off.
Oh, that's
Yeah, but
Oh,
this
gotcha.
one,
This
I
one's for
mean,
real.
jeez.
okay, Jose. Okay,
She broke off
I
her
see you.
engagement.
I see you.
She broke off her
I'll admit
engagement with
when I'm
A-Rod
wrong,
too.
okay?
I'm sorry not to bag on this lady, but
Well, I mean,
maybe
mean
did not
bag
put a
this
ring
lady?
on it.
what do you mean bag on this lady?
She's a middle-aged Puerto Rican with
Leave
money.
women
She
alone.
is a complete bitch.
Whoa. That's
Leave
fighting
Okay.
words
If
from
they
Jenny
want
on
to
the
get
block.
married
No, you
multiple
tell
No,
me
she's
she
not Jenny
knows-
on the block. We confirmed this on the show.
Right.
She's Jenny from the suburbs.
Jenny from
There's no-
it's a block, Matt. It's a block.
Jenny from the Brock suburbs.
Yeah,
She
it's
ain't
still
on
a
the six-
block. It's just not from
She-
the block we all assumed. We
From the
that's
hood
our fault.
block. She's
We
not
all
from the
had
hood
in our
block.
minds. She said Jenny from the block. We all assumed something.
All
That
right,
says more about
immunized.
America than it does about her. She didn't lie.
Her interview, that was so crazy. I can't.
We all assumed that she meant something, but maybe she just meant around her block.
Can
We're
I
all from the
say
block.
this though to switch it up from talking about J-Lo to Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
There's some people feeling like, or let me just play you this other viral clip, about him and his first wife, also named Jennifer Gardner. Look at this for
I
you.
love
TikTok
her.
alone. The way Jennifer Gardner looks at him and he smiles, you know she was the right one for him.
She's.
All right, look at this. Look at this talking. And you're telling me he left this woman for Jennifer Lopez?
I thought she left him.
I don't freaking know. But look how happy they are
That's why.
together, according to this weird, intrusive video that I am reposting for the internet as well.
We'll talk about intrusive later, I think. But they do seem happier. Is that a dunk? That's not a Dunkin' cup, though.
I believe this is actually from, I guess they were dropping off their child to Yale.
Yeah.
And this is the video from it. And well,
But life is a lot easier when you're don't have the ball and chain on. You know what I mean?
Jose, we
What
already
do
know
you
how
mean?
feel about relationships.
What do you
and
mean,
stuff.
what does he mean? We already know.
no, I know. Just
Jose,
for
what
the
do you mean?
audience wondering.
And yo, life is a lot easier when you can, like, in the previous relationship, you can be friends. Yo, I'm smiles and giggles with all my exes I'm friends with. Fucking, they're amazing.
Friends with your
When I was in a
exes?
Yes, when I'm in a relationship, you just want to just Michael Myers the shit out of them. You get tired of them bitching. But now that you're friends with them, shit, it's like fucking rainbows and sunshine. You're
So
good to go.
I will
but
say-
actual friends and not friends who fuck.
Right, actual friends. Yes, most of my
FWB.
90% of my exes are friends with me, and we have an amazing relationship. Just
And you've
being
never
friends.
hooked up with them again after the
No,
break.
because I'm a fucking cancer. If I have no emotional attachment to you, I'm not fucking you.
Anyway, so I was gonna say I do think there's some logic to the idea that maybe they cohabitate poorly. Like like the way they live and the lives they live are just very different. And that makes it kind of hard. Like you could still have a lot of love for someone and still actually like someone's company, just not like if they're both kind of very big on their personal space, then living with somebody and like sharing your entire home with them every day can get very difficult. So I do think that there is something to that they could actually still be very good together, good parents, maybe even like good friends or possibly good like in a physical relationship. They just can't do the cohabitation part, sharing their finances, sharing their space, sharing all of their time. And you know what? Maybe that's all he's going to do. Maybe he's going to just leave it this time and he's just going
And
to
just have a lot of sex with random people safely.
or Jennifer
Affleck,
Gardner.
why not?
You
You
never
don't
know.
have to.
Oh, that's
you
not
don't
happening.
have to just go have sex with a bunch of people. Maybe he just wants him to.
Yeah, what is he? 50?
That's true. I'm just saying. I'm just wondering. But you also know, we just know how these guys think and act as well.
Don't get me started.
Yo, he's
I'm
just
trying to be-
smashing.
I'm trying to be
But yeah.
optimistic.
But like, yeah, with the
Not
Jennifer
lose hope.
Gardner, maybe he fumbled it.
Yeah,
No,
but he
I
could
don't
get
think
it
so.
back.
he fumbled
I
it.
don't think so. You
I
didn't fumble
do.
it.
All right,
Look at if
we
you
have
look
two
at
sides
Ben
of this.
Aff-
Why?
if you look at Ben-
Jose. Never mind.
If you look at Ben Affleck's, and tell me if I'm wrong, his typical, he likes to drink, obviously has an alcohol problem, he likes to go to the nightclub and stuff like that. That's his interest. He likes that stuff. He likes to be with friends and stuff. You can tell from Jennifer Garner that she doesn't go out. She's more of a family-oriented person. This is why they look happier. Because Ben Affleck can do whatever he wants and not have to hear the bullshit or the nagging. He goes back to his house. He can smash a 20-year-old if he wants. He obviously falls to temptations. He's Ben Affleck. Put yourself in issues. Big movie star, freaking money all over the place, women all coming at you. It's hard for him. I get it. I would have been the same way. And you see how lovely Jennifer Garner is. Ever since she became a mom, she's kind of stopped being in Hollywood like that. She's been more focused on that. So you can see the difference. If you try to put them together, Ben Affleck's not going to settle for anybody. He's not going to change his way. He ain't changing it for Jennifer Garner. He ain't changing it for Jennifer Lopez. That's why he's divorced. That's why he looks happier now. All respect, big ups to Ben Affleck. And no prenup, so you better get that money too from her.
I mean, J-Lo's got a ton of money.
Well,
Any other things that contribute with that, Allison, before we move?
No, honestly, I'm at a loss for words or a little speechless, but we'll get there. That's okay.
Indeed, we'll get there. Now let's talk about what's her name? Chappell Roan. Is that how you pronounce it?
Chappell
Roan. All right, Chappell Roan has been in the news this past week, and we'd like to thank, hopefully, future friend of the podcast, KFC, Kevin Clancy, for breaking down exactly why she went viral. Let's see what happened. Chappell Roan.
Rant about being a celebrity and all the weirdos out there that think that they should get to take pictures with you and touch you and hug you all because they like your music. Side note, if you don't know who Chappell Roan is, it's because you live under a rock or you're a 30-year-old straight man, but she's the biggest thing in music right now, had the biggest set ever at Lollapalooza. This bitch looked like DMX at Woodstock 99.
I don't care that abuse and harassment, stalking, whatever, is a normal thing to do to people who are famous. I don't care that it's normal. I don't care this crazy type of behavior comes along with the career field I've chosen. That does not make it okay. That doesn't make it normal. It doesn't mean I want it. It doesn't mean that I like it. I don't want whatever the fuck you think you're supposed to be entitled to whenever you see a celebrity. I don't give a fuck if you think it's selfish of me to say no for a photo or for your time or for a hug. That's not normal. That's weird. I'm a random bitch. You're a random bitch. Just think about that for a second.
Preach, sister, preach! I mean, this is completely naive and idealistic, and the fans are going to hate this and come for you, and you're probably going to have to issue an apology, but you're not wrong, you're totally right, and this generation doesn't give a fuck. I think Chappell needs herself a canned social...
Okay. No free pub on that one.
No free publicity.
All right, Chappell Roan. Just another celebrity not liking the attention, it seems, but we're going to do the cycle all over again and talk about whether celebrities should understand, whether fans should be entitled to interacting with their celebrities in a special way or not.
No.
We
Absolutely.
say that now. Of course, it's easy, and I agree with you. But say if you see, like,
well, if I saw
your
Taylor
dreams-
Swift, I would internally freak out. But I know from interviews from her film Miss Americana, Netflix, her documentary, everything, she absolutely hates when people take photos of her in public, when people surround her. I get she's like the biggest, like she's a billionaire, she's like the biggest pop star, whatever, but she genuinely just wants to be treated like a normal person. So she actually went and was at a friend's wedding in like Jersey or something, and people surrounded the bar, and they did all these crazy things, and now she feels guilty because it's not necessarily about the wedding, it's about her. And that's why all those people are there, and it's ruining kind of the moment. And I just don't think that type of behavior is okay, especially if you know celebrities don't like it, like certain celebrities. So I think her public service announcement wasn't necessarily wrong, and I hope she doesn't get hate or backlash for it. I think it's just her own personal preference, and they should be treated like people too.
I definitely agree. I 100%. It's just once you're in that moment, as we said, are people going to continue to respect the privacy like that? I've seen examples of people saying, "Oh, I wouldn't care if this movie star is in my vicinity," and then they're asking them for a picture right away. It's like it's weird in the society view because yes, everybody's entitled to their own privacy, and I'm sure anybody who is of influence understands I'm naturally going to have an aura about me that people will turn their heads. But yeah, it's interesting this dynamic we have. But definitely, again, the key word is everybody has the right to their own privacy, but everybody understanding if you are of influence, you'll just be seen more.
And did
Yeah,
LeBron James just do something with this? Like a
yeah,
kid
we
went
Which
covered
we
that
just
like,
too
covered.
with the kid.
yeah, he was like, no, like no, like I
Y'all
don't.
were mean, by the way, to LeBron. Jose was mean to LeBron, and I don't remember what Matt
No.
said
Fuck
about
LeBron
it.
James.
Yeah, but I think that might have been a LeBron specific hate. I don't know. I go back and forth on this. I think honestly I have gone back and forth on this on the show. But one of the things that I was looking at comments about this today in preparation for the segment, and somebody posted something which has got me on it's given me the side that I'm going to take right now. Someone said that, well, we're the ones who made you famous. So that was like this person's basically saying, like, yeah, we can come up to you and hug you because without us, you wouldn't be you. You'd be someone else. You wouldn't, you know what I mean? And I think that is just totally backward way to think about it. Like, sure, fine, yes, you're not a famous singer if nobody buys your music. So your fans do make you a famous singer, but also, especially nowadays, like with the way fandoms are now, which is
Yeah.
why we have these problems. Like Taylor Swift, we talk about Taylor Swift being this way too. Like people identify, they tell other people they are a Swiftie. Like they say those words. I'm a Swiftie. And
Guilty. I'm
Chappell
sorry.
Roan, by the way, I can tell that Jose and Matt have never heard of Chappell Roan. She's huge.
Not
She's like,
the only time
Yeah.
was when that girl Katie Johns
yeah, we did
mentioned
talk
her.
about Chappell Roan quickly once on the show, but she is huge now, and I mean, it was almost overnight, by the way. So this fame is very new and it's just started. But there are people already who are dressing like Chappell Roan, who are like making their identity that they are a fan of this pop star. So, like realistically, she made you. If you call yourself a Swiftie, or if you are at that level of Chappell Roan head,
Mm-hmm.
your identity is based around this singer. So no, you didn't make her. She
No,
made you.
I agree. 100%.
Like, and this is again, the Swifties are the easiest example because they already have a name. If you're a Swiftie, then you didn't make Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift made you.
Yeah.
Your identity is I'm a Taylor Swift fan. That means Taylor Swift is core to your identity. She owes you nothing. She's given you identity. And also, nobody, not the musician, not the fan of the musician or artists in general, should feel that their parasocial relationship is their core identifying factor. If you believe your parasocial relationship with these artists is one of your most prominent identifying features, then you should sit down and just like really take stock of everything, because that's not a healthy way to
Psychiatric
be.
help.
I won't say that. Psychiatric help is, that's very
There
specific
are
thing.
some people though that get to the
Yes.
point where
No,
like
yes,
Taylor
there
Swift
are.
was like recently stalked pretty
Yeah.
severely. Like a guy drove a car into a Tribeca apartment
Mhm.
building. Like
Yeah, that's
there are
OD.
people who identify so hard where it like psychologically just like
Yes,
alters
no.
and they
Some
just
people
kind
do
of
probably need actual like professional help. But I'm saying even if you don't
yeah,
need professional
absolutely.
help, you should sit down and take stock of what it is, like why it is you feel that way. And maybe, you'll be able to figure out, okay, here's what I'm missing, or here's why I feel this way. And you can find a healthier outlet that's more individualized, more about yourself, that helps you do that. That would
I
be
think it's
my
yeah.
advice there.
I think it's like a sense of like kind of like you're saying, a sense of entitlement. Like I feel like nowadays in society, a lot of individuals feel entitled to certain things, and maybe that's just something that kind of
Well,
happens
yeah,
when it comes to
KFC
this
said it
too.
in his thing. He goes, "This is naive," and it is. This will not
Mhm.
be changing. And another thing is, like, pop stars are not the only group of people that go through this. And I don't even just mean like, oh, other celebrities. We see this kind of relationship, this parasocial relationship, this need-based relationship out of men in sports teams literally all the time, going back a very long time. There are people who one of their core identifying features is I am a insert football team, insert baseball team, insert basketball team, whatever. Their mood changes based on the success or failure of a group of 20 somethings that they've never met and how well they can play a game. So this is something that's not just like, oh, women and their pop stars. Like this is the way fandoms have kind of morphed. This is a byproduct of that. And so it's all fandoms. Well, not all fandoms, but like it's all fans. Like any fandom can turn into this
Mhm.
entitled, kind of creepy group of people.
Culty.
Yeah.
A little culty.
Yeah. Any fandom can end up falling into this. It's not just like Taylor, like it's not just Swifties or Chappell Roan fans or
We're
whatever.
not that bad, okay?
Oh, some of you are.
We just love our
This-
girl. We just love our girl.
Oh, we met you a year too late.
Yes, Taylor Swift. This was Taylor. This is a Taylor Swift podcast for about like 5 months for a while. So
Bring it back. Let's go.
check out my
Football
piece
season's
on The
coming.
Last Word on Pro Wrestling, comparing CM Punk to Taylor Swift. By the way, came out
I can see
yesterday.
that.
So there you go.
I love that
Just
movie.
quick thing, Ryan. 5 minutes. You brought to my attention the news of Chick-fil-A deciding to become
Yeah.
an animation studio.
Well, not just animation, Matt. They're doing all of it. They're starting with some reality TV, right? I think there's a game show coming out, but Chick-fil-A is they're hoping to enter into the streaming conversation by starting a streaming service, a Chick-fil-A streaming service. I'm assuming this will be an app on your phone. It might even presumably be playing inside Chick-fil-A stores, restaurants rather. But yeah, Chick-fil-A they're working with like real people too. Like they've got real producers, real executives from like actual studios who are on the Chick-fil-A team on their streaming division, which they are building out. Like I said, they've got a couple of reality TV shows that they're starting with. They're looking to start
What's
an
that? Who
animation
could eat the
studio.
most Chick-fil-A until somebody gives up?
No, I don't. I think it's gonna. If I read it correctly, it's the guy who's doing it is the person behind what's it called? The one that The Wall, the competition show The Wall.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So I think it's going to be somewhat similar, like a trivia based show, or a knowledge based show. So yeah, again they've hired a real guy, the guy who created The Wall, which is like a real show on real TV. That is coming to join Chick-fil-A to lead their streaming arm, at least the reality and game show segment of their streaming arm, which is absolutely insane. One, that's a lot of chicken nuggets to sell if you think you could suddenly be a TV producer. Like you have to sell a lot of chicken nuggets to have TV producer money. And two, who is asking for Chick-fil-A television?
So
Yeah.
the only thing is they have during the holiday season released special holiday specials during
Yes, they have. They've already done this.
Thanksgiving. So I guess they're expanding on it. You know, why not? I've talked about McDonald's tried this before with original content. It's
Yes.
nostalgic, but you know what? As mentioned with all these streamers, all you need is one hit show to start it all. And seeing if Chick-fil-A is
Do
the
you
first
think that the
one.
Chick-fil-A original? So I've read that they're trying to acquire shows as well. So if they do that, then maybe. But do you think a Chick-fil-A original is going to be a hit show? Can that happen? I think just
Here's
Because
our
it can
Netflix
happen.
original. We got Chick-fil-A original.
Right.
It can happen as long as it's just original idea. I really think if you just make a great show scripted or unscripted. Most shows identify with the network that are on, but if you're just really good, you'll get an audience. It'll just be from an obscure place.
So I'm saying, like, think of Apple TV. I think we can all agree, and Matt certainly, because we've talked about it, they're not doing well, right? As a streamer.
Like Apple TV.
Yeah, just a few hit shows, but
Right.
compared to the other streamers, they're probably last place.
Yeah, but I'm saying they do have hit shows, but they just are so far behind. So I don't know how Chick-fil-A can scale up to be a real thing. What I'm worried about, Matt, is I know that they've kind of put this aside recently. They, adapt or perish, I guess. But, they're a pretty Christian organization, somewhat conservative. They were religious. They were closed on Sundays for a while. They had rules against certain people working there. I worry that to scale up quickly, that Chick-fil-A is going to start putting out, like, godly content. And that's, no one is asking for that. No one is asking for a God streaming service. And they're certainly not asking for a God streaming service sponsored by Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just worry. I can see them producing stuff.
I think it's just going to be one. All they need is one hit shows. I don't think the odds are in their favor, but I've learned with streaming, I've learned with viral sensations that everybody is that anything's possible in terms to this content. So just watch out for that. And with the NFL going in as our next thing to discuss, the NFL is only a week from Thursday. I cannot be any happier. Watch out for all our coverage. Our third straight season covering every single NFL game this season. Second season covering NCAA football for every single week. Our first show, if that is released this Monday, the preview of the college football season, hosted by me. And then next week, an NFL preview show. And then we are back every single Monday in the fall from Labor Day all the way until President's Day Monday. Will be a football show, both college and the NFL. So watch out for that. And for this, as we are winding down with training camp, and we've had players go on various forms of media. We had the starting quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, going on the Dan Le Batard show to say this about his former head coach in Brian Flores, former coach of the Miami Dolphins when Tua was a rookie. He was dismissed. He's suing the NFL right now due to civil rights issues. But at this moment, Brian Flores is the defensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings. So put this all together. Why is Tua talking about his old coach? Well, this is what happened. Again, this to the Dan Le Batard show.
In practical terms, between having a coach who did believe in you the way that he did and the difference between that and what was happening with Flores.
Yeah. Well, to put it in simplest terms, if you woke up every morning and I told you you suck at what you did, that you don't belong doing what you do, that you shouldn't be here, that this guy should be here, that you haven't earned this right, and then you have somebody else come in and tell you, dude, you are the best fit for this. Like, you are accurate, you are the best whatever, you are this, you are that. Like, how would it make you feel listening to one or the other? You see what I'm saying? And then you hear it, regardless of what it is, the good or the bad, and you hear it more and more, you start to actually believe that. I don't care who you are. You could be the president of the United States. You have a terrible person that's telling you things that you don't want to hear, or that you probably shouldn't be hearing. You're going to start to believe that about yourself.
Okay, so we have this. It seems that Tua was not a fan of Brian Flores' leadership style, clearly, coaching style, clearly. And Flores did have a response to Tua's words. Here's exactly what he responded with.
Made by Tua. I just want to say, look, I'm happy, genuinely happy, genuinely happy for the success that Tua's had, and I really wish him nothing but the best. And I think player relationships are very important to me. I think that's kind of the foundation of coaching. I got into coaching because I was impacted as a young guy by my high school coaches, my college coaches, by going all the way to Pop Warner. I got into coaching because I want to make that same kind of impact, positive impact, pour it into young people, help them become, as KO says all the time, the best versions of themselves. And that's really my goal always in coaching. So I wish nothing but the best to Tua. Really, more than anything, I'm just focused on the Vikings, the 2024 Vikings, the players we have. We saw a couple of guys up here, just a couple minutes ago, Metellus and HP. I think, their leadership, their friendship is important to me, and I'm just, I'm excited about this group.
Interesting. So we have talked about this. Is it better to be confrontational as a leader? Is it better to point out the flaws to try to make somebody better? Or is it better to use words of encouragement and hopefully using that to influence the person you are trying to make better? It seems this is clearly a clash of generations. Are you the old school coach who's going to tell you how much you suck? Or are you the new school coach who tells you you're good, and then you hope that you become better that way?
I mean, I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Allison.
No, I was just saying I played college softball, and I was like pretty into athletics growing up. My parents coached. My parents were always like there for travel ball, everything. They didn't sugarcoat shit for me. If I sucked, we were at the diamond after a tournament. We were still like hitting balls. I was getting balls drilled at me. Like it didn't matter. Like very confrontational. You suck. If you suck, just be better. Do what you can to be better. No participation trophies, nothing like that. So that's how personally I was raised. And I guess maybe I'm just a little like biased towards that because I coached after I was done playing college softball, and it was very like a night and day difference. Like a lot of the kids felt entitled to like ribbons, even if it was last place. And we got outscored like in an entire tournament one time, like 150-5. Oof. And it was to the point, yeah, horrible, right? But these kids got tied for last and they were like happy about it. And I'm like, what is so happy about losing? Personally, like you're a tournament team, like you shouldn't be happy to lose. Like you're there to compete and do well and try to excel and like move forward. So from a player perspective, it was a little saddening a little bit to kind of see that downfall.
What do you think, Jose?
So you
What, Matt?
No,
I guess there's whatever preferences, because when I used to play basketball, I would prefer to be like my coach to be a dick to me, but I guess it's pretty much preference. I mean, I like how he handled it. I mean, it really looks bad for him as it is. So I mean,
he didn't apologize for it.
No, they didn't apologize.
What's to be apologized? Tua was trash in the freaking rookie season. Wasn't at one point they were going to try to trade him off too in off season? I mean, he wasn't.
It was
wrong.
a rough start, and
yeah.
My thing though is,
but people liked Brian Flores. They thought it was a shock when they actually fired him in Miami. But
so this story, to me, the problem with this story is it's created a false dichotomy that doesn't exist. So I'm not saying you have to, like, we've presented this as, do you encourage your players and hope that that nurturing grows them, or do you tell them that they suck when they suck? And the answer is you can do both.
You can.
And it's not
Yes.
impossible to do both. You do not need to go up to a player and be like, you don't deserve to be here, you're trash. You can go up to a player and be like, bro, what was that? Like if you had a game with like 7 picks, you'd be like, what are you doing? Like you got to make sure you pay attention out there. Like you cannot fall asleep back out, in the pocket like that. You have to keep scanning. You have to keep your eye moving. You have to keep looking for the open man. Like, Tua's got legs. Like you tell him, like, listen, if you really can't find the open man, you need to be comfortable bailing, right? Like, so, I just think that, and that's a Tua specific example, obviously, but for any player, there's a false dichotomy that you have to be confrontational and a jerk, or you have to be soft and affirmation based. You can confront somebody without being a jerk, and you can give affirmations without them being soft. Saying nice things doesn't need to make you soft. Going up to someone when they've done poorly doesn't need to mean you're being a jerk. Now, people who are not good at either of these things decide that they must be that way. They want to be confrontational, and the only way they know how is to be a jerk about it, or they want to give positive affirmation and they don't know how, so they end up being all cutesy and soft. And that, to me, is the real problem. And that's what we're seeing in the story more than anything. And I'm totally with you on this. And I don't think Flores needed to, baby him. But if he was really saying you don't belong here, someone else should have your spot, like, what does that do? They drafted him. Tua's the quarterback. So you're the coach. He's the quarterback. You go up to him and be like, no, that's not how you do this. You do it this way. You need to do this. You need to think about that. You go up to them and you give criticism, sure, because he was trash when he started. But you shouldn't be like, I can't believe you're here. Like, I can't believe how bad you are. You shouldn't be on the team. Like, he is on the team. He got drafted. He's a professional football player. You got drafted to your team. You're the coach. You have to tell him how to win the football game. It's your job. And then he has to execute. That's his job. And so the idea that you would ever get to that point, and I know that people will say, well, he tried and it didn't work. First of all, we have no evidence that he tried. Second of all, even if he did try and it didn't work, okay. All your job is to keep trying. At no point in time is the coach's job to scream his head off because the guy's not getting it. That's never the coach's job. Coach's job is always to try and get the players that you have.
On the level of the game to an extent, because like obviously the NFL is like highest level you can go. Like
I don't believe the level. I don't believe the level matters at all. I don't believe the level.
No.
To that general concept, the level doesn't matter at all. The coach's job is to never scream at the player. Or the coach never needs to scream at the player for his job. The job of the coach is always to take the team you have and win games. That is a good coach. A good coach wins games. If your team's not,
I like how you said that, because right there, do you know why he's suing the NFL?
Why Tua?
No, why is what's name is suing the
Brian
coaches suing the
Flores.
NFL?
Oh, Brian Flores.
Repeat what you just said, to win games.
Coach's
Do you know
job's
why
win
he's
games.
suing the
his
NFL?
job is to win games.
No, but I don't understand what that's.
Do you know why? Okay,
No,
you
but
know
I don't
why
know what
he's-
the I don't know why
here's
that
the
matters.
answer. Dolphins wanted him to lose, and he
Fine.
refused to lose. So you just came and told me to win games. Their Dolphins organization wanted him to lose.
But what does that have
on
to do with
purpose.
Tua or his coaching
But
style?
Tua, that's my point. It depends on one. It depends on the player. Because if you go, let's go Kevin Garnett. If you think you can go
Sure.
soft on that, on Kevin Garnett, he's gonna you're on drugs.
But
Kevin
it's not
Garnett, it
soft.
depends.
You keep saying soft. You're still wrong. I didn't say
Kevin
go soft on
Garnett-
anybody.
Kevin Garnett, if you ain't going hard on Kevin Garnett and you even go LeBron James, how many times new coach LeBron James got? How many?
But
I think
don't
what Ryan's saying
understand what you're like, Jose. You're not getting it. You're not hearing me. One, what does him suing the Dolphins have to do with anything? So the Dolphins are a bad team. That doesn't mean
because the Dolphins didn't want Tua.
They did want him because they had him. What are you talking about?
The coach didn't.
He was their guy. He was on the team.
Organization. Why did you? Okay, can I ask you? Why did he want him to freaking lose the games to get the first pick for what? Get a new quarterback.
Fine, but that's when you do that.
They didn't want Tua.
But I'm saying, but that's when you do that. So you don't want Tua. He's not doing well. You get through the season. You win as many games as you can. That is the coach's job. And then you draft a new guy, and then Tua's out because he can't hack it. I'm not saying you have to make it. You
didn't
have to
want that.
protect.
You
don't
don't
have to
win.
protect everybody's soft feelings. I'm just saying that the coach's job is never to. The coach's job is to win, and you're not doing your job by screaming at anybody. You can go to
Coach's
someone
job
and
is
you
to
can
win.
make them better.
He just got fired for winning.
Well, yes, but that still has nothing to do with the concept of yelling at your players, Jose. That's the part that you're not getting. You're still never your job to go tell your players that they shouldn't be here. That's still not your job. Your job is to tell the players how to win the football game because you are the coach of the team that's trying to win the football game. If you're not doing that, and again, you don't have to do that softly. If Kevin Garnett needs you to be confrontational, you can be confrontational without telling Kevin Garnett you suck. Again, you go up to Kevin Garnett. You botch 16 rebounds. You say, "What are you doing, big man? You got 1.5 feet on everybody. Come on, get up there. You have to get up. You have to get up for the ball. You have to." That's what you say to Kevin Garnett, because now what you've said to Kevin Garnett is your play is not at the correct level. This is what you need to do to bring it to the correct level. And by doing that, we will win the basketball game. At no point did you tell Kevin Garnett that he's a dumb idiot, that he shouldn't be on the team. That's my point. If what Tua is saying is at all accurate in terms of the way Flores coached them, that Flores was
a horrible
wrong.
person.
At that point, it's just psychological abuse. Like, it's just.
Yeah,
Flores
but
is wrong,
here's the problem with that. It's only Tua speaking out.
Well, sure. That's what I said.
One player.
That's what I said. That's why I said that. I said, and you heard me say it. If Tua is describing this accurately, then Flores was doing his job poorly. Period. Now, if Tua is exaggerating because Flores was not a fan of his, that's different. I'm not speaking to that because I wasn't in the locker room. All I said is that if Tua is speaking the truth, if Tua's recollection of the environment is accurate, then Flores was a bad coach.
I think even if he was even exaggerating it a little bit, it kind of still makes what's his name a bad coach. Because I think, like you said, your job as a coach is to take players and win games, and if they're doing something wrong, like help them build off and develop that and do those things to win those games. So I think, like, even if he was maybe exaggerating a little bit, I think the coach didn't necessarily.
Well, yeah, that's just it. I don't want to put a number on it, like, if he was mostly true. I don't want to put anything like. I'm saying if there was any accuracy to what Tua is saying, then Flores is a bad coach.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, time will tell where things will go. There, Tua got paid anyways. We'll see what happens for the Miami Dolphins and the Minnesota Vikings. But moving on, we'll talk about Travis Kelce briefly till a couple other fun things, and then we'll wrap it up. Travis Kelce, obviously the future NFL Hall of Famer, boyfriend of Taylor Swift, as somebody who is going to attempt to be a part of the Chiefs dynasty if they could three-peat this year. But it was also announced that he will continue his acting career. He was in American Horror Story. Who actually saw that? Who saw his part?
Was it American Horror Story?
I didn't even know it was on there.
It was something like that. It was the guy who made it for sure.
He did a Ryan Murphy. He did a
Ryan Murphy show. I didn't see it though. No.
But bottom line, he's acting.
Yes,
I believe this is his career path, post NFL career. And it was announced that he is going to he was cast in Happy Gilmore 2. Obviously, Adam Sandler's hit movie, the special movie, Happy Gilmore. They will have a sequel being released next summer. And Travis Kelce will be in it. So, but anyways, what do you guys think?
Do we think he plays himself or a character?
Well, that's funny you say that, Ryan, because I think this is a hilarious theory that someone put out there. Rolo Tony, at poor Rolo Tony. He'll probably show up for one scene, yell something really random like, "I brought the Twinkies." Then there will be an insert of him eating Twinkies in the big crowd shot at the end of the film. That's it.
I think it'll be more than that. My thought is, I mean, again, he could play character if acting is really the path he thinks he's going to follow post NFL. Then he might have his own role in this movie, a la Shaq in Grown Ups 2, right?
Yeah, he wasn't. Well, he was in
Yeah,
that.
he played the cop.
Oh yeah,
And he only had like 1 or 2 scenes, but he played a character. He didn't play Shaq. But Happy Gilmore, as we'll all remember, has a very famous scene, multiple scenes in a row, but it's one part of the film where they do a celebrity golf tournament, and Happy Gilmore is playing golf with The Price is Right's Bob Barker. And so I
yeah,
could
pro
see,
am.
yes, exactly. I could see them doing a pro-am in which Travis Kelce is one of the character's partners, and he plays himself playing golf in an exaggerated way. So I'm curious to see if he's playing, like, if they're going to do something like that, like the Bob Barker's part. Like, Bob Barker, by the way, was in the movie, playing himself and gets into the fight. It's a pretty iconic kind of scene from that movie, I guess. Iconic's a strong word, but you know what I mean. It's a memorable scene from the Happy Gilmore movie.
I would say
But
it's iconic. I would go
okay.
as far to use that word. It definitely is. It's very recognizable.
Yeah.
But anyways,
He screams, "The price is wrong!" Right? Like everybody
Yeah.
knows that. So I don't know if they'll do something like that, or if he will play a character a la Shaq, Grown Ups too.
Do
So
we
I'm
actually
curious.
think that he will be a good actor? Does he
No.
have the chops in him? Now, the right role and the right talent, you can make any character come to life. But
Sure.
can he specifically?
I don't believe he's gonna have a long acting career. I think what will happen is he'll do a couple acting things, especially right after, to really capitalize, and then he'll like fall into some sort of talk show, or maybe the podcast will become the full-time thing the Kelce brothers do. Yeah, some sort of talk show. He's a very personable guy, and so I think he could have a conversation with athletes and other prominent figures, but no, I don't think he's going to be a serious. I mean, even not serious, like, or even comedic actor. I think he's going to be in a few movies to bank off of his name right after retiring, and then he's going to kind of find a show, either his show or another show, a morning show like Michael Strahan did, perhaps, and just kind of lock in there.
Be a talent, so a on-air talent.
Yeah, I do think he'll be an on-air talent. He's super personable, but
what does he say actually that makes him good? Like, for instance, like Jason Kelce knows his X's and O's for football. That
I don't mean a football. I don't mean a football talent.
Too. So you think he would be
I
like the host?
I think Michael Strahan is quite literally what I think. I think he's gonna be like, it's gonna be like Live with Travis and Kelly or whatever. Like, it's something to that effect. They're gonna replace Hoda. Like Kathy Lee and Travis. Like, you know what I mean? Something to that effect. I really do believe he'll leave football behind and will just be a TV personality.
I also want the record. Anybody who plays NFL football is an extremely intelligent person, especially a tight end.
Well, certainly
so I'm sure he would
football,
do that.
yeah.
I'm saying this the difference. His brother comes off more astute, if you will.
Yeah, his brother definitely seems, and I think they'll still do the Kelce podcast, which his brother will break down the games. Travis will just kind of throw in his 2 cents, and maybe if they start doing interviews on that Kelce show more often, I could see Travis taking the lead on the interviews because, again, very personable, gets people to talk from what I've seen. So
for the Swiftie in the room, how do you first of all feel about Travis Kelce as a whole to start?
I like him. I actually have a crew neck that's it has a Kansas City logo, and on the back it says "In my Travis Kelce era."
Like, is that how it works? Like, are you a true Kansas City Chiefs fan?
No.
Or a true Kelce fan? I mean,
yeah,
true.
Go Pack, go
for the right
Swift.
For the right
tickets to the Packers. Like, I've grown up going to games. Like,
okay, so you won't leave your fandom as a Swiftie, while some might, or just start liking football. For instance, I ran into my cousin at a wedding. She no idea about football, typical Swiftie as well, but all for Kansas City leave winning, and they are the enemies of the NFL now. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, you watch the preseason game, Mahomes doing a behind the pack pass to him. They're just showing off at that point. Luckily, it's a preseason game, but I'm sure you understand that they really do not want to see people. Nobody wants to see this three-peat happen except the Swifties and Kansas City
fans, yeah,
and the Swifties, wherever they
want Taylor to have her second Super Bowl.
Yeah. Ask that to a Lions. Ask that for a Jets fan or a Lions fan or a Browns fan.
I've never had a Super Bowl. I mean, I've had one, but I wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
Very long time ago.
You guys see?
So-
I'm sorry to bring him into this, but we're gonna end the football
You
segment.
can.
So I want to. Did you guys see the Aaron Rodgers pictures
Stop.
that the Jets posted? The 20
Aaron
years.
Rodgers had the audacity.
Do they have a new
to
one? I
follow
haven't even seen. Was this when
Thomas
was this released?
Thompson
Was it
to
released?
It was today. The Jets tweeted it out, and the
Oh, I
NFL
didn't
retweeted
see.
it. It was like 20 years, but it's his new photos for the year. God, he looks so old.
I mean,
Oh
he
no,
is he's an old man. He's 40 years old.
I'm very, very, very nervous, Matthew. He looks so old. I don't know that his legs could do it. I'm so scared.
The only rebuttal with that is well, I just want to put that you have a much better backup quarterback in Tyrod Taylor, who really is good enough to be a number one. So at least you have that.
Yes, we don't have
there's a
Zach Wilson
catastrophe.
anymore. But I'm just saying, I saw the picture. I was like, oh my God, he does not look like he's about to play a season for the Jets.
And you want to know something with that's will be big Monday night, September 10th. No, September 8th. Wait, I really just want to see
it's the
this
10th.
picture for it is the 10th. Okay. Man, I don't. The Jets posted this, or
was it the Jets or was it the NFL?
all right. Well, anyways, you get the point, though. I know what
I'll
you're
see
saying.
if I can find it.
But it's okay. Don't worry. We're running low on time. But with Rodgers, though, yeah, Tyrod Taylor, Zach Wilson, they're selected the third string in Denver. So once again, proving my point. So there you go. More NFL action coming to you very soon.
I just sent it to you, man.
But last but not least, who do you guys think are the best actors turned the best athletes turn actors? Wrestling counts too. So obviously The Rock. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So hold on. How are we defining best?
Okay. All right, let me reiterate. If you want to go on pure acting talent.
Okay.
So I will take back The Rock because all he does is play himself. The best athletes who can transform themselves in a role, who was a professional athlete at one point. For instance, and this might only be one or two films, like Ray Allen in He Got Game. He actually did well performing that. I will say Arnold for some roles, not all. Some roles you can argue Arnold's fine.
Yeah, Arnold's pretty good.
Arnold
for the wrestling,
Carl Weathers,
for
former
the wrestling
NFL player,
crew,
Apollo Creed. He played in the NFL. He's a Raider.
For the wrestling side,
Kurt Reynolds
I'll go with,
too, who played. Well, that wasn't professional, so.
But I'll go with Batista and John Cena are both actually good, I believe, actors. Like they have good roles. They play roles particularly well. Peacemaker being John Cena's best, and honestly, Batista's been good in just about everything. Here's one that I'm gonna say, and I understand that everyone's gonna disagree with me. I'm gonna say it anyway. LeBron James.
Yeah, already.
Because let me finish. Have we all seen Trainwreck?
That was fine. It was fine. It
He
was above
was
average.
Funny. Thank you. He specific. The movie itself was not above average, but he specifically was an above average part of, frankly, a below average movie. Him and Bill Hader had real chemistry that I thought was really actually fun to watch on screen.
And
went
Matt all downhill with Space Jam 2.
Yeah, Space Jam 2 I'm not talking about. Talking about that. And Matt, the reason Matt is smiling the way he's smiling right now is because he's thinking about it now that I put it in his head, and he agrees with me 100%, but he won't admit it because he hates LeBron James. That's, by the way,
I love LeBron. That's Jose who hates it. I love LeBron a lot.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
No, I agree with your
Trainwreck. The minute you put Trainwreck, let's go Space Jam for you.
Well, no, Space Jam sucks. Yeah, I'm not talking about Space Jam.
Well,
I'm talking about Trainwreck.
You got 2 seconds Trainwreck compare a whole full-length movie about him.
No, he was not in 2 seconds of Trainwreck. He was an
he
actual
was
character.
2 seconds.
He was a supporting character in
Yeah.
Trainwreck. The whole point is that the guy is a team doctor.
It was like in 3-4 scenes.
He was a full supporting character. He was best friends with the main guy.
90 minutes, how long he was in there? Less than 5?
I didn't count. Jose, I don't go to the movie with a stopwatch.
My God.
He had a real role.
Trainwreck. Terrible.
He had a real role, and he was the above average part of a below average movie.
There's so many better.
But yeah,
right.
I want to put LeBron in there.
All right, I'm going to play you guys something to make you happy or make you cringe. This made me cringe. In fact, when I saw this at the gym, I literally yelled. I'm going to play you another best man speech. This is the second time in 3 weeks where we've done a best man speech. And here's another one from who knows when, but this is from the TikTok account Pauline Amy. 1968 2. Okay, here we go. Here's a best man speech that I don't. We're gonna talk about this.
The greatest. All right.
Only goal with this speech. My only goal with this speech is to make Foster proud. The first time that I knew that Foster and Rachel should be together was August 30th, 2015. I actually remember the date because we have pictures. Foster and I are sitting in the parking lot at St. Mary's, and Rachel calls Foster and convinces us to come downtown to climb into this abandoned building that was totally dangerous. It was burned by fire. But as we rappel these walls, we get up to the 3rd floor, and we see all this like crazy graffiti, and we're having a good time. Annie Burns was also there. And I just noticed the connection they had. The laughs they shared together, the way they looked at each other. And you'd think it'd sound really romantic, but the only problem was I was dating Rachel at the time.
So much on my mind with this. Number one, the fact that you get TYB'd by your best friend. I don't know why you're still friends with this person to start. Number two, to have the patience, to have the audacity to get invited to the wedding, to agree to the wedding, and then go and speak at the wedding to admit this cuckold moment. Even if everyone agrees, I will say you saw that crowd's volume go lower and lower and lower, and you could see the bride and groom know where this is going. And to give that pipe bomb right there, Jesus, once again, we talk about you and your friends, you and you people hanging out with your ex. I've had exes before. I have exes, and our time ended, and I wish nothing but the best. But I'm sorry, if I get asked to my ex's wedding, I am not attending. God forbid I even speaking, no matter what weird voodoo relationship, polyandrous, open relationship you have with this. I'm like, bro, what are you doing here? Why'd you do this? Why? Why? Somebody explain to me how this is okay to let those morals out. But sometimes there is a fine line in life where you need to do what's best for you. And I'm sorry, I don't know if this was the best move for this guy.
I mean, clearly he's best friends with the groom. He's the best man. So it's not like he just showed up at a wedding. Like, no, but seriously, he's the best.
I know
man.
that's where this weird relationship
well, it's not weird.
Start.
Obviously, he's fine with it.
He's fine with it. I think it's weird that you're fine with it.
I know.
That
well, yeah,
all the times that you were hanging out with your girlfriend at the time, this might be me. Anytime you were intimate, anytime you were cuddling, I have my best friend taking her, having sex with her, and living their best life. When they go out and say, "Here's Uncle Paulie," or whoever the guy is there, that could have been you. I will say the man's patience to have such a thing on this.
She broke up.
This is good.
So she broke up with him. So obviously there wasn't going to be him.
There's other friends.
They did move on, and she got married, and that's that. So I don't see this at all as being a problem for the two of them to be friends. Obviously, it wasn't infidelity.
It doesn't have to be a problem. It's just strange.
Well, I'm saying I don't think it is strange.
It's cringy.
I don't believe it's cringy.
Because that's you. I believe you're in the minority on this.
But being in the minority doesn't make me wrong. Let me ask. Everybody else is wrong.
I will respectfully disagree. But big thing first. Who's here would attend their ex's wedding?
If I was best friends with their husband? I got a story for you. Yes, I would.
Jose would go fuck shit.
Oh, Ryan, you are a better man than me in that sense, because I sure as hell wouldn't.
Yeah,
there's a reason why I unfriended my exes when it was over. It's gone. That chapter is closed. Maybe we'll run into each other on the street one day.
I've never unfollowed anybody.
Again, that's why I said you have more patience and friendships with that. not me.
Well, I didn't say I was friends with any of these people. I'm just saying I've never unfollowed a single person ever. I just if I talk to you, I talk to you. If I don't talk to you, I don't talk to you.
That's why
And
you're
that's
Pope
that.
Ryan.
It's not Pope Ryan. It's normal. It's normal Ryan.
You know, it's Pope Ryan.
Better say your Hail Marys.
Yes. Jose, you said
normal.
you had a story. What's the story?
I was the maid of honor for my ex's wedding.
There you go.
That's strange, Jose. That was a strange move by
Why?
you.
Jose, that's
Because
beautiful.
I think it's strange that you, first of all, you mean best maid of honor.
I think it's strange. I
You
think
were the
it's
maid of
strange
honor.
that
Yeah, he's the man of honor.
Can men be maid of honor? Forgive me if I don't know.
I was for that wedding, and my
Yes, you
speech
can.
was awesome. Thank you very much.
There's a whole rom-com about it called Man of
But
Honor.
let me be so. I was with her for 3 years, and I got really close to her daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and we kept the relationship, and we became best friends, and whatever. So I get the strange part. The husband it probably was awkward for her husband, but I mean that's not my place. I was just asked the question if I wanted to do it. I was like, fuck it. How many men you know out there gonna be maid of honor? Not that many. So I took it.
I mean,
that was it.
I've gone on. This is obviously slightly different, but I've gone on double dates with my current wife in which I was not my wife's boyfriend. Like, I just it's not when you have a similar group of people that you hang around with, like there's going to be overlap. There just is. So I don't know. I just don't see.
Listen, I know people our age are afraid to make new groups of friends. I have plenty of over there.
Listen,
That's just
if you
me.
got an
New
issue,
friend
if
there.
you can't be friends with your ex, that must mean two things. One, you ain't getting enough pussy out there. Two is you're not getting enough attention from women that you give a shit that you lost somebody.
I
For me,
disagree.
it's like,
I think it's
no,
just there's
because
something
it
called
ended
closing
poorly.
chapters with relationships
I-
that we
What-
just
what
move on.
chapter? The
I'm
chapter's
sorry I have to
closed.
ask my ex, hey, you want to grab a beer, talk about the guy you've
Well,
been
why
banging?
not?
And
Why
compare
not?
how did I go compared to
Why
you
not?
to
'Cause
this
if they
man?
don't- who gives a shit? If you're
Then we'll
over
just
with
look
it,
at that completely different.
are
I'm-
you over it? Are you over the relationship?
Yes,
I
I'm
agree
over the
with Jose.
relationship.
Okay, so you're
shouldn't matter.
emotionally
So
closed the
that's
door.
my way of getting over it going.
Why? Who gives a shit? If
That's
you're
just
over
me.
it, and you're,
I don't
mean, if
care
it's just
why
you-
you
right,
want to
listen.
hang out. If you want to be those
you're-
people who want to
Listen, if
see the relation,
if
see your
you're
exes
over
as
it, here's
doing
my
that.
problem. Here's my thing. If the relationship didn't work for whatever the reason was, if it just didn't go, personal
Right, if it's-
reasons
yeah.
or whatever, and you ended it clean, and
Mhm.
you both know that you are both romantically done with each other, but you still care about the person, because at the end of the day, when you put yourself out there and you loved her or whatever, you will always in some way have a certain type of feeling, emotional feeling, caring, love, whatever it is,
Right.
but it's still there. You care about the person and not worry about your romantic feelings. You can be friends. It's just like there's still at the end of the day, she's still a person. Of course, I mean, you slept with the person. All right, cool. It's just fucking. When you put it so fucking deep in, like having sex with this person, is so goddamn, you value that so fucking much. For God's sake, who gives a shit?
I actually agree.
One
I
door
cannot believe
closes,
this.
one door
I
opens.
believe. I
Yeah, but
agree with everything
you're right.
Jose
Not for me.
said.
You're
Just
right.
not for
One
me.
door closes emotionally.
Just not for me.
Emotional relationship.
You can
closes,
have your
friendship can open.
exes. You could have your ex's reality TV show. Not for me. I'll watch
Listen,
it from afar.
Here's the problem.
It's
Here's
not
the
for
problem
me.
with it. See, this is where I have an issue with. If you have an issue with that, it's because you're the one that got dumped. If you're the one that broke
I
up with the
don't know if
person,
that's true either.
well, if you're the one that broke up and you
Oh my
accepted that
God.
this relationship
Who
is
gives a
over
shit?
and it's easier, no, it's easier to become friends with something you're the one that closed.
I
If someone
make
closed the door
friends
on
easily.
you-
I make friends with the doorman at work. I make friends with who I'm
So
sitting
why
with
would
on the
you- okay,
subway.
so
I
because
don't
you
need
were in
new
a-
friends.
okay,
It's
why-
over.
Did you
I
just
hope
said
they
you
do
just
well.
made friends with the doorman? So
Because
why
I don't
wouldn't you be
need other
friends
new
with her?
friends. My ex is my ex that I respect from afar, and
Well-
that you have thumbs up if we run into each other. Great. I'll even have a cup of coffee once, but not twice.
Once.
I'll say. So Jose, I disagree with that part. The part that you must have been the one that got dumped. I do think, for guys in particular, and I cannot speak for girls, but maybe before we end, Allison can jump in with like her thoughts on that side. But for guys anyway, I think that there is like a strain of thought where because you were together in relationships, or no, I'm not trying to say relationships are possessive, but there's something quasi possessive about a relationship in that a person is yours and you are a person's, right? And so when you have that kind of mentality of this person is mine and I am this person's, and then you're not anymore, that's one thing to have like that part of your brain. But then for your brain to see that the person who was yours and you were that person's has a new person and that person is theirs, like to see it played out in front of you, I think for some people, and I'm not one of these people, but I'm saying I think for some people, the shift from I'm this person's is mine to wow, this person has someone else. And like I think
I've
that
been
that
replaced.
right. Yes, you feel
I
as if like
know there's something to change. Someone is taking
I
my
think
place. That
right.
secondhand news by Fleetwood Mac. That's
Right.
exactly what I'm
So
saying here.
I do think that
Move
there's
on.
people there. Yeah, there are people who cannot see that, and therefore they've decided. And I don't believe that just. I don't believe it's oh well those people aren't getting enough or whatever. I think that there are plenty of like I think it's a possessiveness kind of personality. Like you kind of with the mindset of I was theirs, they were mine, and it becomes very hard to break that personality if that's how you view your relationship. And I do think that that's a common enough way that specifically guys view relationships. I don't know if girls also see that kind of possession thing, but
Oh, we're so possessive.
okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it would probably be very
Especially if you're
similar.
with
It
someone
works
for a
both ways.
longer
Yeah,
period of time. It's like, let's say you're with someone for 4 years,
right,
and then all of a sudden, in like a few months, they're just with someone else. It's like you're
right.
gonna
It gets yeah,
feel a
Thank you,
sense of
Allison. Thank you.
yeah,
possessiveness
Thank you.
to that
yeah.
person.
So
You're
I
like
do
four
to
I'll
like
give you
years
defend that.
versus
$5
2
if I
months.
could
Like
for
what?
helping
That's
my
crazy.
point.
Yeah. So I
What?
do want to give Matt that. I do think that there's a very real train of thought that's like that. I don't have that particular train of thought. I don't see relationships as possessive in that way. Like, and again, possessive is a strong word and a negative word, and I don't really mean it to be negative. So no one take it as a negative if you're listening and that's you. Like, if you recognize this, don't be like,
It,
oh,
it,
he's saying
it
something
depends
bad
on a
about me.
person. It's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
negative.
obviously you
Yeah.
could do it badly. I'm
Have a
saying I'm not.
partnership
Yeah.
with somebody. Like you
Well,
built
no, partnership is different.
right.
I mean, me and my wife are partners, and I've had exes who I thought would be like a partner for me, and they weren't.
Hmm.
But again, even me and my wife, as much as yes, we are partners. There's not this idea that she is mine and I am hers. Like yes, I am like physically I am her husband. Like there's a legal document saying so, and obviously there's a legal document saying that she is my wife. So there's like the legality of it all. Yes, there's obviously some kind of like positions there, but I do think that there's just a strain of thought that two individual people can decide to move forward together, but retain a specific sort of individuality. And then there's the other train of thought, and I don't think it's a bad one, where when people become a unit and they date to become one. So like it's no longer, I mean, you hear it at weddings all the time. It's very romantic. It's like, it's no longer, X and Y, it's XY, it's us together. Or like at my wedding, like people would be like, oh, you're no longer Ryan and Melissa, you're Ryan and Melissa. Like, and I know they sound very similar, but like goes from two separate things to one entity. Now, me and my wife both have a very like similar worldview in that we were walking the same path, chosen to do that together, but we are still individual people who made the same choice. Whereas we're not like a becoming a unit that then goes forward as like a single entity. But for some people, that is the case, and I could see why if you make that decision and then it doesn't work out, how making it become separate again could be very difficult, and to have to deal with that could be very difficult. But I don't believe it's wrong to not see it that way, which is why I don't believe that this a particularly cringy video. I will say though, to end this, he shouldn't have told that story.
A different story for sure.
Yeah, he could have said anything that didn't like highlight. Like it's fine that is true that they were together and then they weren't and now they're together. But I don't know if that you bring that into the best man speech. I think that you just tell a different story about and you don't mention the previous relationship just because it's really not the time.
There you
It's
go.
fine that it happened. I have no problem with that. Like that they're together, or that he was invited, or best man. None of that's all fine. But maybe don't bring it up.
Yeah. I think you could tell too, like as he was getting into the story, like the bride's face and then the groom's face, like you could kind of see it, like why is he bringing this up a little bit?
And they laughed, and that was good, and it was all fine.
And then there's always the next day that's not on camera. Like, yo, you really told that story. Are you okay, bro?
I'm
And
sure
that's
all depends on how many. It also depends at the wedding how many people know about that story.
Right.
I mean, it
yeah,
could have been out in the open.
Yeah, if it's common knowledge, it's not as bad.
Yeah, it's not as bad. We really don't know that answer.
Yeah.
Pray for bro. All right. Last thing to show you all is pop that balloon. Let's show another pop that balloon viral moment that took place. First one with Allison. We've done this before. Here's another one.
Oh, yeah.
I wish you gave the opposite one, but all right.
Welcome in. What's your name?
Let me get
Hello,
this-
my name is
Oh,
Pointer.
hell no. Pop
Pointer,
that
how old are
balloon,
you?
guys.
I'm 30.
Okay, and what do you do?
I am a talk show host and an educator.
Okay, very cool. What are some things you like to do for fun?
I love to do the 3 E's. I like to eat, I like to exercise, and I like entertainment. I like to be entertained.
Okay. So what are some things you look for in a woman?
What I'm looking for in a woman, most importantly, you have to love Jesus. I love Jesus. And I
Oh,
also want a
pop
woman that's
it.
romantic. You know, I believe it was the prolific artist Mario that said, "You should let me love you. Let me be the one to give you everything you want and need." Y'all know that. Okay, yeah. But Mario, you know, I want a romantic woman, someone that lets me love them.
Okay. What are some of your deal breakers?
Deal breakers, poor communication. You know, I really want an effective communicator. Someone, if you're tripping, if there's a problem, let me know. You know, I'm open to communicate. And the ratchet music, like excessive. I'm more Motown. I'm more old school. Yikes. I'm more Motown. You know, so I like the older music. So
Okay.
that's kind of my thing.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right, so we did get a few pop balloons.
He's so
Wow.
sweet.
Sweet. I don't know. He
Oh
had a
my
laundry
God.
list. I didn't like him at all. I would have popped the
Really?
balloon as well. I didn't like him.
Maybe
I
this
would've
Wait,
popped
Jose,
that.
did
What
you
to
say
say
you wanted
about
to see
movies?
an opposite one? You wanted to see a girl for a
I
guy?
wanted to see a girl. Yeah.
All right,
A
I'll look
girl
one.
version.
I'll look up
But
one
my-
really quick.
yeah,
But what do you
did
guys think of that?
anybody? Did we end up finding out? Did he match with anybody? He couldn't have.
Oh, I don't know
No
what
way.
happened.
No
with
way
this
he
shit.
did.
But
Yeah,
there were
Allison
there were
should be on
people
the
who did.
show.
Not everyone popped their balloon.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I mean,
only
yeah.
one.
There's like two. There was two left or something like that. I think,
Listen,
but-
he
Only takes
he's
one.
he is definitely an Oreo. So
What does that even mean? Can you elaborate?
An Oreo.
An Oreo, like he's on the black on the outside. He's very white in the inside.
Oh, okay.
That's what I
really
figured you
thought that
meant.
was going a different direction.
I don't
and
know.
I don't know.
Well, you can tell he's like he got to be a church person. Motown. He's very politically correct. No
He
ratchet
seemed like
music.
he had his stuff together and he like knew what he wanted and he was
Yeah,
very
he had too many
well-spoken.
demands, though. Too many demands.
I feel like that's a lot of people do.
Okay, you see that as a good thing, right? Know what he wants, but the problem is if you don't fit that shoe to the exact T,
He's not gonna
you're
like
gonna
it.
have issues
Mhm.
already because
I
he
just
likes
like that he was
Motown.
himself.
You need-
I
you
like
need
that he was
flexibility.
himself and that he didn't care. Like, you know, some people get pops and they look a little discouraged and they look a little sad. And I felt like he just kept doing his thing. And I felt like it was just like more so confidence, like how he held himself up for me, I guess. Like, I thought
I
that
mean,
was
maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just
I
to
can see
me,
that, but there's no. But also, you can see confidence, and you can see it that way. But you also can see stubbornness in the same route. If you're in a relationship in a partnership, it takes two. So you have to give and take a little bit. When he is into his ways and he's set in his ways, there's no give. So unless you're gonna be submissive and do what he says and what he wants and how he wants, it's an issue. It's gonna be an issue long run. He looks nice now.
But what type of characteristics, like, and what he was saying, like, gave that away that he would be
Okay,
like?
so here's the thing. So he was like, I don't like ratchet music. I like Motown. Person needs to be church. I like the three E's. I like to eat,
I've never heard
exercise, and entertain. All right, tell me something besides. All right, you like to exercise, so if I'm not into exercise, it might be an issue. I like to eat. We agree on that. But entertaining, what do you like? Where
What
do
is
you go with entertaining?
entertainment?
Like exactly, where are you at? Because I don't know where you're at.
Like, is church your entertainment, or is it a strip club, or is it?
It could be vastly. You can be a podcaster making no money, or you can be a big YouTube star making Mr. Beast type money. I don't know exactly where you're at. So financially, I don't know. But so now you're looking at me and you're telling me I need to be church. I need to get off the ratchetness. What's wrong with me listening to rap music?
Yeah, I was gonna say to me, I would say the fact that music, I mean, religion is something, whether, religion I can almost get, because for some people religion is very important and it is a deal breaker. But the fact that a woman's music choice could be a deal breaker for him is all I needed to know to get where Jose is, that this guy has no flexibility. And if you've got no flexibility, then, I mean, they say there's someone out there for everybody. And if that's true, then, power to you. Keep on keeping on. Be yourself. Keep your list and wait until you find the right person that matches your list. But if you want to actually, like, if you don't believe in the fish in the sea thing and you think that it's about meeting people and just checking the vibe, checking the attraction in person, you need to have some role. You need to have some flexibility, some give. And the fact that your choice of music could be a deal breaker, to me, means he doesn't have that.
But you also realize that the key word in that thing is the word ratchet, because ratchet you can use for many things.
He didn't even say
ratchet, the way you act.
Right.
I didn't even hear him say the word
the way
ratchet.
you dress.
He said ratchet music.
Ratchet music.
Okay.
So he's already prejudging you easy just by
listen,
how you dress.
If you listen
how
to
you
rap
act,
music,
right?
Yeah, he believes that if you listen to rap music, you are going to be ratchet.
Correct.
And I mean, there is a negative connotation to that terminology.
No, okay,
So
that makes sense.
if he would have said rap music or like heavy metal rock or whatever, then that's just leading to that one genre. You get it.
I do still think that's a problem if you care that much about the
Yeah.
entertainment things that your partner likes. But yes, at least then you could say, okay, it's a specific genre he's got a weird hang up about. But the fact that he called the music ratchet means that there's a thing you can like that will make him look down on you.
Right,
specifically. And so and that was kind of where my head was at. But anyway,
come on,
did not
Allison,
hear him
we
say
need
ratchet.
it.
I'm sorry. I didn't
We
know.
need
no, it's okay. You don't have to
ratchet.
agree with us.
Maybe
Again,
I was just so taken back by his hair and his glasses.
maybe,
and
but
his, like,
some people, I mean, hey, some people didn't pop. So you're not alone in thinking that there was
Right.
still something there.
Clearly, that's what's hilarious.
Maybe
at
that
this
says
point.
more about me than anything. So. Maybe that is why.
You know what it is? I view I look at you and I see your openness. The openness, because realistically, 9 out of 10 women will probably pop that balloon. 8 out of 10. But you were willing to listen and to see if you match. Showed how
I can
you
fix
are
him.
to
No,
this.
really, I can't.
I can fix him.
I can fix him. That's a Taylor Swift
All
song,
right.
actually.
Oh
but
my goodness. All right, Jose, one last thing, just of time. If you wanted to see a panel of girls for guys, that's actually really hard to filter it. But I did find one. And show me your reaction on this one.
Let's go.
very cute.
Look at you, looking
Hi,
like a
my
little
name is
chocolate.
Jessica Carmen.
Jessica, okay. And how old are you?
I'm 27 years old.
27, okay. And what do you do?
I'm a doctor. I specialize in internal medicine.
Very cool. Okay, now what are some things you like to do for fun?
I like to do gymnastics. I'm a gymnast, and I also do cheerleading too. I started back that. So yeah, those are
I'm
like
being
the
real
things
honest,
I do.
I
And
would not
started
pop my
a
balloon
TikTok
yet.
account like a week ago. And
Okay.
then also I post on YouTube.
Hey,
that's
very
it.
nice. So, what are some things
Really
you look for in
not
a man?
That is one infectious smile.
Really, I'm looking for someone that knows what they
There you go.
want, someone
Okay.
that came here with the intention of finding love, and
Oh.
also someone that's like ready
Very
to settle
small.
down and has an end goal of getting married.
Okay. Now, what are some of your deal breakers?
Um,
This is
I
where we
guess
about to
I
pop.
would say someone that's unsure of what they want.
Oh, pop it. That bad boy right there.
That's what
I
you would
wouldn't
pop
have-
your vote.
I would
That's
not
what you
have
would do it.
popped my balloon
Of
for
course,
anything she
Ryan,
said.
you're Pope Ryan. Of course you're not popping that.
What's your
Wait,
name?
there was a part
say-
2, I believe, here.
Oh, this is part 2.
No. Well, go.
That's
Okay,
alright.
you get the gist of this.
Yeah.
She's not. She wasn't ugly. I wouldn't pop it off looks. I'll tell you
I
that.
just wish
I
her
mean,
outfit was different.
I liked
Really?
her outfit.
I do. And the
I
only
thought it
reason
looked
I
well.
say
Looked
that
good.
is because watching like the other episodes where like roles are reversed and it's the guy coming in, the women are very much about like the style and the outfit. So for me personally, if someone's coming in, like wear whatever you want, that's fine. But personally, if someone's coming in and like, I don't know, I just think I would have chose a different outfit. But
I
she
thought
looked
the
beautiful.
outfit was
I
fine.
liked
I
her
thought she was
outfit because
beautiful. I think she's beautiful.
she's like a 6.
She had beautiful. Oh, Jesus. All right.
Yeah, you're a tough grader there, bud.
I mean, body wise, it's up
I'm
there.
not.
But then
I'm
her
not
face,
engaged. I'm not engaging in anything further than what I said. So
I thought she
you
was
can say
beautiful.
whatever
I
you'd like.
thought she was cute, like especially she was a little timid and she just like, I'm here to find love. And she was so cute.
Doctor.
Really a 6? Wow.
body wise, face wise, she was kind of like, eh. So that's why I give her a 6. Personality, like you can bring her home to mom. She seems kind of like I would need to know more about her. I would just pop my balloon because I don't come in off the rip looking for marriage.
Right.
So you can put me under unsure. because
yeah.
because I want to give it a chance. It's to not know her or nothing about her, what she tells me, and not being around her, and you're asking me, I'm looking for marriage is like kind of a lot. You're asking me off the rip. If you were open this and to see where this goes and you take it slow, she would have had me. But the willingness,
I do think I will just say, like, you can say the words like I'm looking for like someone who's ready for marriage. That doesn't mean that they want you to commit right then and there to marrying them. I think what it means is that I'm not looking for someone who doesn't. I want someone who wants to end up there as well.
Like the
And
end goal.
right, and if we both want to end up there, let's see if we can end up there together.
And not
Like
play games and not
right, and I also don't think that that's like a huge deal breaker. Like, I mean, I've talked about this with my wife. Apparently, like for her, when we started dating, like she was very much on the like in the idea that we would end up married. I was not actually necessarily like I didn't start there. Like obviously I got there.
I think
but-
men and women will think so different when it comes to that. Like
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't even like that different. It's just like, she was like, if I'm gonna date, I mean, and her thought process.
that was her deal breaker. That wouldn't have been mine. But the minute she said that was hers, that's what made me pop it. Because I'm not going to waste your time.
Okay. Yeah, I'm about to say because I just do think that yes, like, but she knew that realistically, when I was dating somebody, I was open to the idea that if I found the right person, that I would marry them, and I think that's why it worked fine. Even though she was like, she was at A and I was at B. She knew the end goal would be the same, and so if we were compatible, then we would both end up there, and that's obviously, of course, what happened. But
Yay.
No popping the balloon there. Just
No
keep on
problem.
keeping on and figuring out what happens in life.
Matt, would
But
you have popped the balloon?
definitely not. Definitely not. I definitely want to go on a date with her. 100%.
We'll hook you up, Matt. We'll try our best.
Hey, definitely open to it. But yeah, I would definitely have shot my shot. She was stunning, had her head on her shoulder. Looked like she brought some integrity, very good aura. Definitely would. But I'm not on that show, so we'll keep on seeing what happens the next
Dealing with
time.
what you're dealing with.
Good work, Ryan, Allison, and Jose. See you next week. Remember, this Monday, NCAA, we got some college football for you on Monday. Back at it with another tweet cap on Tuesday. and
Yep,
then we'll roll through it until then. All right, Ryan, Jose, and Allison, have a good night. For the rest of you out there, have a great weekend, and thank you to Magic Mind for sponsoring as always.
Have a good night.
Night.